Hi everyone! So today I am just trying to finish up this little journal so that I can list it this week in my Etsy store. I've got some embellishments already made, so I will just be putting them in here today, and then there's a couple of little ones I'm probably going to just assemble on camera. First, before we start, I'm looking at this little thing on my table and I just have to show it to you guys. It's a little bowl that my mom got me a couple of years ago at Christmas with my initial in it. I just love it. I use it to put little bits and scraps and stuff while I'm working. So I just wanted to show you. It's one of my favorite things. So the first set of embellishments that I'm going to be putting in here are these tags. My goal with this journal was to use up some of these offcuts from scrapbook paper. When you use the 12 by 12 papers and you're trimming them down for pages in journals, you're left with a lot of the offcuts, right, that are like about 3 to 4 inches wide and 12 inches long. So my goal was I need to use some of these up in the colors that go with this journal. So I made these tags. This is the large Sizzix die tag. So they are dimensional, and I did try to keep this as a writing journal, so I don't like it to be too bumpy for a person to not be able to write in there. So the other embellishments in the journal are going to be a little bit more flat, but these have lace on them and these little tags hanging from the top there. So this one here, it's just lace, a little Tim Holtz paper doll. This is another type of die cut, the Botanical type, and a little ticket there. And then some stitching around. So I'll show you where I'm going to put this one. This one here is very similar. I've got some lace behind them, another ticket. This is one of those stickers. Can't remember where I got a little sticker sheet that has great little stamps on there. And then on these little tags, I sprayed them with Distress ink spray in some matching colors, but then I thought that was just too plain looking and I didn't really want to stamp an initial or anything on there. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but then I decided to use my circle punch, the smallest one I have, and just punch out some images from my books. So this one here is a little warbler, I think, or I can't remember what that is. No, maybe that's a flycatcher. And this one here is a poppy. And then this one I have the bigger tag and a little starling. And then this little guy, one of my favorite in the paper dolls. I left the lace to hang out of the side there like that, and another sticker stamp and some stitching around. When I'm putting embellishments and even my page placements in my journals, I'm kind of methodical and I put the same type of pages in the same order in each signature. That's just how I am. As much as I love the randomness of junk journals, I still have the need to have some order, so that's how I do things in my journals. And then when I embellish them, I put the embellishments in the same kind of way, so there's the same amount of distance or pages between each similar embellishment. That's just how I am. Some people are great doing really random type of things, but I'm not. So I'll just go in and show you the page that I'm going to use for the first tag. And I decided to go with the back of this double-sided scrapbook paper. And I'm going to use this one. So it's going to go here. I want to be able to slide a little piece of journaling paper underneath here, so I'm just gluing the top and the bottom of these three tags. And of course my Fabri-Tac Kind of had a little hiccup there. The next one is going to go in the similar spot in the next signature, which is on the back again of double-sided scrapbook paper. My Fabri-Tac is just spitting out at me, so I'm going to use my finger to use up this glue. And then the last one's going to go on this page, like that. So the idea is that I want to just use these guest checks. Just going to fold them in half and then slide it in like that, just to have an extra journaling spot there. So I'm going to do that with all three, keeping it simple while still having some decorative elements in the journal. There, just like that. Next, I made these flat cards out of pages from a botanical book, and there's a little bit of, blank space on these, so these could be used, they could be journaled onto, or you could put photos or something. So this one here, all I did to them was trim them down to a size that would fit these side pockets that I'll show you, and then I just put a postage stamp on one of the corners, and then I stitched around them. So this one here has one on the bottom, and then this one here is just this is a very old stamp. And I wanted to say, oh, what a coincidence this was, but I used some of the images from my Miss Nellie collection in this journal, and then I was going through my stamps to put, either botanical or women on these, and I landed on Nellie McClung. And Nellie was a social activist. She was into politics. The dates here are 1873 to 1951. So she absolutely had to be in this journal. So with these three, the plan is to go into these side pockets on the other half of the double-sided scrapbook paper. And then I had these little book plates that were done when I was using the tag die in my Big Shot, the other tags from before. So this is just scrapbook paper from those offcuts, but I sprayed them with distress spray. So I've got three. Got that one, and this one, and another birdie. So these are just images from a book. I just glued them on the back so it looks like a cute little frame. I was going to maybe put them on here initially when I did this, but to make the card slide in and out easily in these side pockets, I'm just going to glue the little frames halfway on here. So that still decorates the page, but it makes the card more useful. Maybe I'll use the red stamp on this one. I can put Nellie in here. And then I realized I goofed up the placement of the stamp on this last one because the pocket is actually on that side. But that's really no big deal. I'm just going to slide it in like that. So we can go back to the front and put our birdie on here. So I think the green one will look nice on here, and then the yellow one over here. And the red one I can put up top like that. And instead of putting actual brads that go through the hole, I've got these little enamel dots that I'm just going to put on each end. So I use the smallest of the enamel dots, that way when you're writing in here it's not too bumpy to make it too hard to write. And then this one here, little green ones. And then the last one, little teal ones to go with the paper. Alright, now I have these three that I'm going to put together. And what they are, let me just make room here. What they are the little, this is the text that was on the book pages of the Botanical images. So I wanted to save these and put them in somewhere. So I'm just going to layer. I just cut them, I did the rounded corners, just distress the edges. I'm not going to do any stitching or anything. This will be the texture to add to it, and then maybe stick a leaf behind here like that. And these three are going to go on the front side of some of the pages in here that I cut out of a Wallpaper sample book. I don't want to overthink these. I'm just going in and, you know, not going to debate whether I should put the leaf up or down or whatever. I just want to add a little splash of color. I want to use up these little scraps. These are from sample books of upholstery fabric. So I'm not overthinking, just doing it. Because we all can get carried away in overthinking, and then we spend a lot of time doing that instead of making the actual journal. I'm adding a staple. Just adds a little bit more to an embellishment. I like the look of it. Alright, let's pick out the page. So this is one of the wallpaper pages. The burlap one would probably look nice on here. And this isn't going to be a tuck spot or anything, it's just an embellishment. It's just to use up some stuff and to make the book all that more inviting to write in. The next wallpaper page is this one, and it's got this in front of it, so maybe we can go with this one. Top or bottom? On the bottom, like that. And what's nice about these wallpaper pages, I'm sure a lot of you use them already, is that they are blank on the back, so you've got that extra space for journaling. And they take pen or marker really well, because they've got sort of a papery finish on them, so you can journal on this. This one go like that, or on the top. Yeah, that'll look nice there. So those are the names of the plants that I cut out for the journaling cards. Okay, the last embellishments are pressed plants. So I have 3 little specimens here that I put on handmade paper. These were glued on with just a fluid matte medium, and then a little bit of stitching around. So I've got 3 here. So this is a forget-me-not from my backyard. This is a little strawberry flower. And this is from a bleeding heart. And this one, when Paisley, my cat, was living, she had a little enclosure with little stairs to go out into the enclosure from the back porch. And this bleeding heart started to grow under those steps. We never planted it there, it just showed up there. And so this is from Paisley's bleeding heart. And she actually, on her last day when she started to go, she actually went under those stairs and slept there a lot of the day. So I spent a lot of the day with her there. And so this one means a lot to me. So I wanted to include that in this journal. The last one is a pressed hydrangea bloom. And it was flattened, and then I put it into a little plastic bag, and then I stitched around the bag. So that's gonna go on the front here, like that. So let's start with these, and they're just gonna go on the back. Again, I'm methodical. I'm doing things the exact same spot in each signature. That just makes it easier for me. It makes my brain hurt less. So that one's going to go there. And Paisley died a couple of years ago, so we've taken the enclosure down, but we have left the little stairs, and the bleeding heart is still there. It still grows, and I can't wait to see it in the spring. Alright, the next page is this one. So there's some blue in the map, so let's go with the forget-me-not there. Alright, so for this, I think I'll glue the plastic bag to the doily first, and then I can glue the doily down. I want to glue the corners down of the plastic, and to hide the glue, because it's going to show through the clear plastic, I'll just glue down these little corners. I don't have, I checked, I thought I had the little photo corners, but I don't, so I just made some. I have a square punch, and then I cut the square into 2 triangles. So I'm just going to glue that down on the corners, and then the corners will be flat. There. So now my hydrangea's in there, and the corners are staying down. Maybe I can add some text here. Not sure yet. So that's it for today. So this one and the Young Musician book cover journal that we did embellishments for in the last process videos, these 2 will be listed this week in my Etsy shop. And then I am moving on to the journal for the Familiar Trees collection. I can't wait to play with tree elements, so that'll be fun. So if there are any questions about this journal, let me know. I try to answer questions within the first couple of days, and I try to respond to every comment as much as I can. I appreciate every thumbs up, every comment, every question. I just thank you all so much for continuing to support me. See you next time. Bye.